Hey everyone, I'm going to preface this video with some sobering news. There is a problem with Half Dome, evident in the carnage near the summit last year. If you haven't heard, between early August and mid-September, there were at least 5 near fatalities on this peak. That's 5 near fatalities in 1 month and a few days. And everyone who loves this trail, or hopes to hike it in the future, needs to take notice. A number of the victims described their survival as miraculous, and that's a pretty appropriate description. One affected party has even petitioned the Park Service to, quote, upgrade the cables. But honestly, as someone who's climbed the peak multiple times, including days before the carnage began, the fault does not reside with the cables. Having reviewed each publicly available case from 2023, the unfortunate and harsh reality is that the fault of each injury resides with the injured parties and their companions. While I don't relish being the messenger, the truth is, hazardous choices were made, and some people paid a hefty price, while others, who escaped without injury, just got extremely lucky. Hikers and climbers need to step up their game and take personal responsibility for their own readiness and decisions. Blaming the cables is pretty foolish and a dangerous misdirect. The recent number of emergency incidents is absolutely unsustainable, and people are going to die, and all of us might well face additional restrictions if we don't recognize and address the root problem. It's one of the primary reasons I put together the ultimate cut the crap guide to hiking Half Dome. And if you're hoping to make it to the summit, it's essential viewing. But more than my videos, the Park Service has recently made a noticeable change to the Half Dome experience by holding an orientation of sorts at the base of the subdome. And even if you've ascended the cables 100 times, plan on participating. As the only person present on this occasion who had previously hiked Half Dome, the ranger asked if I could vouch for his message, but did so before I had a chance to hear the whole thing. So this is me vouching for him after the fact. And with one debatable exception, which I've already addressed in part 3 of my Ultimate Half Dome guide, his message is right on point, and something every person with aspirations of reaching Half Dome summit needs to hear, preferably long before stepping foot on the trail. What follows here is the ranger's full, unaltered, unfiltered message to Half Dome hikers.
I was telling these guys, I know the permits aren't easy to get. I know people come from far away. I know it's a hard hike.
Texas.
Very cool. Thank you for being here. Good job. From this point to the top, it's about a half mile. There's quite a lot of other people up there in front of you, which is why I have this conversation with you. Most of them, if not all of them, have heard the same exact thing, and everyone behind you is going to hear it as well, so that there's no excuses for unsafe, poor behavior up there.
Sure.
So half mile to the top, 900 feet of climbing, probably take about 2 to 3 hours to get back to this point. That being said, this is the last best place to use the restroom before you go up. If you do so, it needs to be 100 feet off the trail. If it's solid waste, it needs to be buried. I have a shovel you're more than welcome to use. Take everything you would use to clean yourself with you. At this point in time, I know you've done this before, and maybe you can vouch for me. If you do not go into your head right now and switch your mood setting to patient and nice, you are not going to enjoy the next 3 hours of your life. You might as well walk away now. Plan on being patient and plan on being nice. If you need to pass people on the trail or on the cables, talk to them, be nice. Make sure everyone involved feels safe and comfortable with you guys moving past them. Do not go off the trail. Do not go outside of the cables to pass people. When you get to the base of the cables, if you brought gloves with you, that's the best time to put them on. Everything else goes into your backpack or is really well secured to the outside of the backpack. Your backpack and everything that you have with you goes to the top. Do not leave your backpack at the base. The animals, the squirrels, the ravens, and people will go into them and or destroy them. So take everything with you. With the exception of trekking poles, those can stay at the base. Everything else goes to the top. If you're going to use trekking poles, or if you're going to use your gloves, please, when you're done, do not leave them there. Please take them with you. I would very much appreciate that. If you brought some sort of climbing equipment or protective equipment with you, I tell people if you need that stuff to get to the top, you probably shouldn't be going. Stay safe by paying attention to what you're doing and turning down if you feel unsafe or uncomfortable. If you brought a drone or a speaker with you, please don't use them. No one's here to listen to your crappy music or be bothered by your drone. What else? This is a terrible, awful, horrible place to have an emergency, so don't do it. If at any point in time you feel unwell, whether that's physically, mentally, emotionally, stop, turn around, come down. Do not push your limits. Do not push the limits of the people in your group. This is not a once-in-a-lifetime thing. You can do it again, and even if it is, it's not worth your life. Okay? When you go up the cables, go up the right-hand side, 2 hands on, hand over hand to the top. When you come down the left-hand side, 2 hands on, come down backwards. You're working with gravity instead of against it, and looking over your shoulder as you go, kind of like you're rappelling. I think that's everything I have to say to everyone. Does anyone have any questions for me at all? Awesome, thank you. You probably will encounter people with climbing equipment, even though I've told them not to, and they will slow you down. And there will just be people death gripped in the middle and all kinds of other stupid stuff going on. So again, be patient, be nice. But that's all I have for you guys. Stay safe, have fun. See you guys when you come down.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Half Dome suffers from the same problem as most famous trails, especially those that include hazardous sections. People are so obsessed with checking off an experience from their bucket list or getting a killer selfie that they fail to prepare, make poor choices, and get themselves in trouble. This form of checklist travel affects us all. Restrictions and regulations follow accidents and tragedies. And slowly, our access to these amazing places diminishes. If you want to hike Half Dome, I wish you the best. It's an amazing trail. But make sure that you're ready for this and other iconic treks. And you couldn't ask for a better start than watching my full guide to hiking Half Dome.